San Marcos traffic, yeah, there was a crash at the end of runway 8. I don't think it's landable right now. San Marcos.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's on fire.
What is going on? It's Rob, aka Flightsimtoday, and please, as we said, do hit that small button below and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. It doesn't take too much of your time, and it keeps you motivated to keep bringing you content as much as I can. But today we're looking at Pilot Experience Sims Saint Tropez. That's Lima Foxtrot Tango Zulu, and it's priced at €13.20 here on Sim Market. Now, this airport in the real world does need a specific qualification to land here. It's got stunning scenery around it, but it's in a really tight, dangerous location, and that's why it's worth taking a look at and building this product around. It's kind of a lot going through, which I'm not going to cover. If you want to pause the video, have a read of this. But with that said, let's go jump into it. Okay, so we've downloaded the product from Sim Market, and it's sat here ready to install. So let's go ahead and install this. So we're going to double click it, and we're going to select our language. Next, accept the agreement. You obviously read the agreement, and then if you're happy, accept. In here, we're going to paste our serial number. So if you bear me 1 second, then we're going to hit next, and it's going to go off and install and put all the files in. So I'll come back once this is installed. So at the end of it now, it's telling us to launch Pilot Sim Saint Tropez. It's ticked. Don't know why. We're going to hit finish. And that seems to be it. I don't think anything's launching, but let's go and see what changes it made. Okay, so one thing I will say that we should all do before we install any product really is read the manual, which I didn't do as we saw there. And what it does state further on down is that that checkbox that we left, which we luckily kept checked, it says do not uncheck it during that, so keep that checked and install as administrator. But before you do that, run the utility, a small utility that basically finds your Microsoft Flight Simulator installation, like location, basically your community folder. Again, I didn't do that. So what basically happened for me was the folder for the program was installed to my desktop, which it says here. If you do not run it before the setup, the scenery will be installed by default on the desktop. It will then be necessary to copy and paste this folder in your community folder for it to work, but the updates will be blocked in PSIM Central. So yeah, definitely you run that locator first. Anyone watching this, run the locator first. It's a very still, I mean, you won't know this, but there was a version before this which was even more, not so much complicated to do. It found your community folder straight away, but this one doesn't. They do a bit beforehand, so I know they're having a few issues with installation. So run that utility first, then the setup. However, I'm going to do this now and drag this across to my community folder, and we can get into the sim. The rest of the manual that comes with it, there's not a lot more information, just a few links from there. So let's go in the sim and see what it looks like before and after. So here we are in the default scenery. So it's always worth checking what changes the add-on product actually does make. So we're facing runway 24, which has a massive X in front of the number right now, or over the number. Now that number means the runway is closed. Runway 24 is used, but very rarely unless it's really high winds, because, well, quite frankly, it's pretty dangerous to get into it. It's in the middle of all this mountainous area. So it is an airport that needs a license. But as we approach now, let's have a look. So you got all basic default taxiways. There's not a lot into this runway, into this airport in general. I mean, the next there to stop you from taxiing down, which I guess it stops you from going all the way down to the end to 2-4. Simple control tower, one building, and that's pretty much it. There's your apron, no markings, nothing really. So yeah, not a lot there. Let's go and see then what the new add-on brings, and hopefully get a lot of changes. Okay, so here we are back in the sim. The scenery is now installed. Already we can see a few subtle differences as we do approach here. So whereby last time the runway, or the 2-4 numbers were crossed out, a little bit different now in that the actual cross is further along the runway. That is because, as we've already previously seen in the manual, runway 24 is sometimes but very rarely used on exceptional circumstances. So let's head down. The same taxiway still looks the same as previously as we do head down here. That X for the taxiway is still there, but no longer yellow. A bit more detail has been put in at this moment in time. We do see as well some lighting, lampposts. Now they look like street lighting, so a little strange because you'd think they'd be on the road on the other side, not on the terminal side. We have helipads, and there is a static helicopter just sat there, which is, that's quite a nice thing to see, because there's no helicopters in, Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that's a pretty cool little aspect there to see a helicopter just parked there. Head over to the main apron. This taxiway does seem quite small, however, I do believe that could well be true to life, because at the end of the day, you'd be taking off from this runway because of that mountain right on the runway. It's a steep turn in. This white aircraft, again, that's a static. I'm not too sure what this blue patch is here. We do see some fencing on the airport, but then it ends there. I said this many times, why can't we have fencing that goes all the way around the perimeter of the airport? Now we have the main apron, and it is a huge improvement, it has to be said. Massive improvement. We do have some, the taxiway markings are still default, but considering what we saw in the default scenery, if you are planning on flying here, it's a huge difference. You've got a car park there, and the cars definitely look like they're parked correctly, not in a huge heap of mess that we see often. And then we've got this nice terminal building, outside decking on this side, and the actual buildings do look quite nicely modelled as well. It comes right down, there's no gaps underneath it. We've got the emergency vehicle there, and did they model the inside? Yep, so the roof's done. Nice touch. Does the clock move? For a second I thought it was moving, but it's not. So the clock doesn't move, but that would have been really cool if it did. And then the control tower. The windows aren't reflective. We do have this guy here, who looks like a businessman just waiting to catch a bus. But I guess he's been waiting to. He wouldn't wait there to catch his aircraft. That's for sure. I don't know why he's there. But yeah, we don't have reflective. It's quite a. What's we're looking for? That the textures are nice, but they could have been stronger quality. You could have had reflections on the glass, like that for example does. Look at that. So how come these don't? But with that said, as always, let's go and change the weather and see what happens in worsening weather. There we go. So the thunderstorms has rolled into Saint Tropez. And there are a few issues I see already. These triangles, I don't know what these triangles actually are. The rain is hitting it, but it merged into the grass. That needs addressing because I don't think they should be there. That's grass and that's right there. Looks like the rain's inside the hangar. Again, I do think that's going to be a Microsoft Flight Simulator issue that they can't fix. Guy still outside. Oh, that's nice there. A little light, you know, touches there for the lighting. Overall, it does look wet. These are all wet. Yeah, that's all wet. Doesn't look too bad in the wet. The car park stays wet. We've seen in some places where the car park does not actually go wet. Okay. Now, there is one thing I know for sure is we're never really going to see snow in Saint Tropez. So what I'm going to do is we're going to shift straight into the night lighting. So here we are, it's night time, and there is one caveat to this. You are never going to fly in and out of here at night because it's too mountainous. It's a dangerous airport as it is. You can't see those mountains. So, but for argument's sake, we will look at it at night time here. So again, I understand why the taxiways and the runways not lit up because you're not going to fly at night out of here. And these street lights do light up really nice. You know, this car park's really well lit, and you know where the tower is. What would have been good is if the tower around the top had been lit. You know, inside that tower, like somebody was in there at the top, and then you've got what were these street lights, which I thought should, and I still do think they should point the other way as well, because they're more like road lights and the road's on the other side of the fence. But they do the job. They light up all the way down. But essentially, like I said, you are never going to fly out in and out of here at night. This really is a clear, nice weather airport to come in and out of. So overall, what do I think to this? Well, you know what? I really like it. It has character. You know, it's a dangerous approach. It's a tricky approach. If you want a challenge, fly into Saint Tropez. Do it, and you will see it is a very tricky approach because of the mountainous area it sits in. You are not going to fly into it at night, nor are you going to fly into this in bad weather. So with that said, the actual textures you see now are really what you're going to see the best times. I like the fact we've got helicopters in there. You know, I like the fact the apron's marked. It's quirky. You know, it's got subtle touches such as the guy, the businessman, who is waiting for his flight to come in. You know, we've got the emergency vehicle sat there in case anything happens. You know, they've modelled the other side of the terminal, which really you're never really going to see thinking of the approach, but that's in there. Yes, there's a few issues with textures that look like they could do more of a polish. You know, the hedges are boxy and square, but it has charm, it has character. If you want somewhere that's a challenge, small, unique, even somewhere to base your little sort of FS economy flights out of, for example, this would be a really nice airport to purchase and use. So with that said, please let me know what you think in the comments below, and see, have you flown in out of this, and what do you think of this scenery? Other than that, take care, stay safe, and talk to you soon.